Hello everyone. Today we will discuss cross-cultural understanding of showing anger in Indonesian and Australian families. It has been known that every person have different ways of anger expressions. Also, the different cultures will have a different expression of anger. Thus, to have a cultural awareness, we need to understand the different ways of anger expression in different countries with a different culture. So, let's start to the topic. People have their freedom to show their feelings, such as sad, happy, angry, and others. In the way of people show their feelings, there were some differences in expression and behavior. It may be influenced by the culture of the environment of how people behave. Each country has its own culture in how to behave. Western and Eastern countries will not have the same culture. It also happens in the closest and smallest environment of people, which is family. Indonesia and Australia is two countries with different culture. In Australia, the freedom of showing feelings and thoughts is very important. Also, the self-spacing. While in Indonesia, it is important to be polite and care to each other. In a family, people tend to speak spontaneously like what they have learned from the very earlier ages. Vocabularies and intonation that children learn might be used to tell something or to show a particular emotion or thoughts. For many people, emotion means physiological arousal. Emotions can be sad, happy, angry, embraced, and etc. Emotion do produce some changes in physiological part, such as rising and falling intonation, changing of face, more powerful gesture, and etc. Western and Eastern people have their own habit in expressing feelings and solving problems. The majority of Eastern families usually respect parents and holding politeness as their habit in showing emotion, especially anger. While Western families tend to be free to show their anger. Yelling and swearing are commonly happen in expressing anger, both from parents to children and the opposite.
Now, we talk about the study discussed a cross-culture understanding of showing emotion in particular area. The subject of this study are Indonesian and Australian families. In this study, two Indonesian families and two Australian families were interviewed. After conducting the observation and interview for this study, it is called that the expression of anger in families in two countries, Indonesia and Australia, are really different. Australia families, both parents and children tend to express their anger through words and attitude. The parents usually show their anger by yelling, screaming, even slamming the children. Besides that, the children also express their anger by yelling, stomping, and slamming the door. Two children in Australia families tend to keep silent when they are angry. However, they cannot control their anger sometimes, so yelling and swearing cannot be avoided in these families. On the other hand, the anger expression of parents and children in Indonesia are different. The parents in two Indonesian families tend to show their anger by talking slowly to the children and nag the children. Besides that, they also solve the problem immediately. The children in Indonesian families mostly keep silent when they are angry to respect their parents. The children avoid offending their parents and always be polite even when they are angry. It happens because from the very earlier ages of children, the parents have already given them some advices that they have to respect elders, especially their parents. So, politeness is really emphasized in Indonesia, even when they are angry. Arguing or yelling each other is not appropriate.
This can be happen because Indonesia and Australia have different culture. There are three specific cultures are related to this study. They are focus, respect, and expressions of emotion. The first one is focus. Indonesian families focus on dependence, obedience, and welfare of others, while Australian families focus on independence, challenge, and self-interest. The second is respect. Indonesian families, especially children, respect their parents and their advices, while children in Australia families do not respect their parents and their advices as well. And the last is expressions of emotions. Indonesian families control their emotions somehow and avoid disagreement, while Australian families express their disagreement directly. Those are the culture related to the anger expression in both countries. In conclusion, culture has a big role to influence anger expression because culture is the regular behavior. That is why no culture will be endangered because the children will always imitate what their parents do and it's happened over and over. It means that the behavior is done by people in that environment and will also be done by the next and the next generation after.